This past winter, we had some crazy stuff going through the community here. And mind you, it was something that was bought into the community, and it affected breathing, respiratory, nasal passages, whole 9 yards. And it just seemed like nothing was working and stuff. It's a good thing that we have a strong immune system and had not weakened it by taking antibiotics. But I got something right here. Man, I got something right here I want to tell you because, I've been wondering what in the world's going on. It's obvious that our environment is poisoned. But we finally getting a little bit of leadway as far as what's going on here in this country. And check this out. RT is reporting this, and I want you to listen real close. I have probably 4 possible things that I would suggest that people do, but they're only suggestions. And let me say this. I'm not a medical doctor and never claimed to be. All right? Superbug resistant to every antibiotic available in U.S. Kills Nevada woman. Now listen to this. Listen to this. A woman in Nevada died when a superbug she picked up in India proved resistant to every antibiotic available in the U.S., according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. A woman in Nevada died when the superbug she picked up in India proved resistant to all 26 antibiotics available in the U.S., according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. The account of the unnamed woman's death was made public on Friday in the CDC's Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. Public health officials said a 70-year-old resident of Washoe County arrived in the U.S. in August last year after an extensive visit to India. She was admitted to an acute care hospital on August 18th and isolated with a resistant bacterial infection from a wound that has spread throughout her system. It was tested against everything that's available in the U.S. or the United States. Wow, that means this thing is like, man, there ain't nothing nobody can Krypton. Ain't nothing can nobody do against it. Look at this. And was not effective. Dr. Alexander Callan, a medical officer with the CDC, who first reported the discovery of the superbug, told Health News site Stat. Despite being treated with 26 different antibiotics, the woman died in September. I think it's a concern that we have relied so long on just newer and newer antibiotics, but obviously the bugs can often develop resistance faster than we can make new ones. Callan added. The CDC reported that the Nevada woman has been hospitalized multiple times in India over a right femur fracture and subsequent infection in the right femur and the hip. Man, the authors of the report said that the hospital needed to ask incoming patients about foreign travel and also about whether they had recently been hospitalized elsewhere. The isolate was sent to CDC for testing to determine the mechanism of the antimicrobial resistance and confirmed the presence of the New Delhi NDM, said the CDC. Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report released on Friday. NDM is an enzyme that makes bacteria resistant to many antibiotics. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it continues to keep going on, but I think you get the picture. And again, I wouldn't depend too much on antibiotics because a lot of these antibiotics is there to also to destroy the good bacteria that's in your system. I would recommend, just my own personal recommendation, is that you would start including garlic in your diet more than ever. Because notice it's resistant to antibiotics, but it didn't say anything about anything natural. And mind you, we come from the earth, and it's time for us to start thinking about this stuff rather than antibiotics and chemicals and everything else. Because I tell you, black seed oil, garlic, Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar, which Bragg should be sending me a kickback as much as I plugged them over the years. But I tell you what, I think that more than anything, that, they're resistant to these natural things. These chemical things, but it doesn't say anything about the natural things. And again, going back a few videos, I think you ought to educate yourself concerning natural herbs. Herbs, for the service of the herb of the field for the service of man. I think it'll be prudent in the hour that we're living in.